there's a figure. This activity supports the maintenance costs of the Executive Office, Jamaica House, and Vale Royal. Could you indicate what is the sum that is allocated for the maintenance of Vale Royal and what specific activities are taking place to maintain that facility?
So we just want to know what you're referring to.
15,004 at the bottom.
At the bottom.
And you say activity 10205.
Yes.
So I'm asking a specific question in relation to Vale Royal.
Right. So the amount there is for all three. We have not split out the amount for Vale Royal.
I know, which is why I'm asking, because as you may have seen in the public domain, Vale Royal is in a state of disrepair, and there's clearly a sum in the budget allocated for its maintenance. And that's why I'm asking what that sum is and what activities are taking place to maintain the facility, which has fallen into total disrepair.
Thank you, Member. The sum here encompasses the maintenance of all the properties. As it relates specifically to Vale Royal, there has been a lot of public conversation recently about Vale Royal. We're also concerned. And the Jamaica National Heritage Trust is currently in the process of crafting a rehabilitation plan for Vale Royal. That would not be in this allocation here.
No, I fully understand that,
the monies that would come from this for Vale Royal is to deal with security, is to deal with the overall management of the property. But the building is a very old building that has not been maintained properly over time, and this is going to require significant financial infusion to fix.
No, I understand
and that is what is being planned now by JNST.
The question is, are we going to allow the facility to physically disintegrate and fall apart before anything is done?
No, that is not the plan. That is why the Prime Minister mandated the Ministry of Culture and the Jamaica National Heritage Trust to urgently craft a plan to see to the rehabilitation of the facility.
And when can we expect that plan to be made public? So stakeholders, like in my constituency, as the Member of Parliament, are anxious about what is going to happen to that space. When would we know what the plans are of the government for that space?
Well, I'll have to contact the Jamaica National Heritage Trust to see what their timeline is through Minister Grange, and we'll definitely report back to Parliament and to you directly as to what the timeline is.
In the interim, while the Jamaica National Heritage Trust does its study or its proposal about the future, what is the plan to just keep it in a state that it doesn't fall apart? Because literally, that's what's taking place right now.
Well, there has been some work that has been done to reduce the speed of deterioration until the rehabilitation can take place. I am aware on several occasions workmen have gone there to essentially stop things from disintegrating. That is not sufficient, and we agree that that is not sufficient, which is why I think the proper solution is a proper full rehabilitation of the property.
Can I ask, can you indicate there are assets that would have been in the building, furniture, paintings, other things of that value? Can you indicate whether those are being stored somewhere or whether they are still in the building? So
the challenge with the building is not, the facade is what has deteriorated. It is not the internal aspects of the building. A contractor has gone in recently to do some shoring up works. There are people at the building, employees of the Office of the Prime Minister, who do general maintenance of the internals of the building, and the assets that are there are very secure.
So they are still physically there. Everything is still physically there.
So what you see, that picture that you saw with the frontage, that is not what is happening inside the building. The building is not just the front of the facility.
We wouldn't know because nobody has access to it. So, yeah. But I just want to know that the assets are protected.
There are different categories of assets. Some of the paintings were sent to National Gallery, those that are sensitive to moisture and other exposures. A lot of the furniture is still there. They are safe. A lot of the utensils are also there. They are safe. I remember there are also buildings at the back, concrete facilities around there that are very secure.
Is there going to be any public input from the Jamaica National Heritage consultation so that the public can have a say in terms of what they build in the future of that facility
We will have
be.
to. I mean, we could never, as a government, seek to do a rehabilitation of such an important landmark without the contribution of the persons who live in the community and other interested parties from across the island. So there is no intention of doing any work there of any significant nature without especially consultations with you as the representative.
And can you give us a time frame? Is this
I
24, 25,
I could not.
25, 26? When we're talking about?
As I said to you, I would have to contact the JNHT to hear what their timeline for their plan is. And then when they get back to the office of the Prime Minister, we will definitely reach out to you before to let you know how long they're going to take to do their planning, as well as what the plan for the government is after we receive the plan in terms of consultation and in terms of engagement with various stakeholders.
All right, I'll pause here. I know my colleague wants to follow up on this matter.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Morning, ministers. I want to pick up where my colleague left off, because this is, Minister Morgan, you would have known that even in the House in certain sessions, we've had this discussion about Vale Royal. And I know you say JNHT is going to be responsible for it through the attending minister, which is Olivia Babsy-Grange, Minister Grange. The problem, though, is that while you have the 57 million in the Office of the Prime Minister, which is required to have the maintenance, it is a Jamaica National Heritage Site, as we do with many sites across the country. But in the budget for JNHT, in the Ministry of Culture, there is no increase there. So I think what we're trying to find out, and this is not it's not a contentious issue, because for me, this is one of our, this is a site that talks about our democracy and my patriotism. So as a member of the opposition, I'm not here to be cantankerous about it, but what I want to hear from you, is it that we're going to have a special grant that comes to the Ministry of Culture? Is it that there's going to be a special committee that is put in place? Because this is going to require not the 10 million I see in administration here for the JNHT, or the I think it's something like 400 million for all of the sites across the island. This is going to, 100, I don't have my glasses. This is going to require specific funds, so that when people drive in that quadrangle from Jamaica House, or somebody comes and says, well, this is the office, this is the home of the Prime Minister, or this is where we have special events. What I'm trying to get from you, Minister, is, and the country's trying to get it, would you be prepared to say that this is going to be a special project of the government with the required funding that is important towards it? Because in either part that you speak to, there is no funding there to do what you say will be done.
So thank you for that question. And we share your the implied view that you're expressing of the important symbolism of this very important Jamaican monument. We are going to have to prioritize it among a long list of priorities, some of which are very pressing and large. But we can't allow this to fall apart. And we will make sure resources are provided to get it done.